We're here back in the Fantasy Bar. Big Friday night in the NBA. I've got 6 plays for you on FanDuel and DraftKings, including a bunch of my favorite mid-range plays. 5 guys for you under 6K on DraftKings. And of course, what guys should you spend up on in my Beast of the Night spot? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Good to be back here in the Fantasy Bar talking some hoops. 6 of my favorite plays for you for Friday night. Before we get into the plays, as always, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. That's the tip jar here in the Fantasy Bar. Subscribe to the channel and head over to scoresandodds.com/beer. That link in the description of the video. Tons of great sports betting information. Go and check it out today. All right, let's get into this Friday night slate. Again, we're going to hammer home some of my favorite plays in the mid-range. Let's start at point guard, shooting guard with Jalen Green of the Rockets. Now, injuries, we got to keep an eye on here with Houston. Dennis Schroeder, Eric Gordon, both questionable here tonight, but I like Jalen Green regardless. Those guys are out. Obviously, a nice little boost. We see that with court IQ. If those two are out, he gets the highest bump here among all of the Houston Rockets. Even if they're in, though, really like what I'm seeing out of Jalen Green. Starting to find his confidence, starting to find his scoring stroke as well. 20 or more points scored now in 4 of the last 5 games. 33 DraftKings points in 3 of the last 4. So still a solid buy low here. I still think there's a ceiling that we just have not seen out of Jalen Green that he has in that repertoire. We know this kid is uber talented. Buy low while you can here on Jalen Green. All right, let's go to the other side of that game. A little correlation with shooting guard small forward Will Barton of the Nuggets. So Denver, huge team total here. We know anytime you got Houston on the other side, you're going to have a big team total here, but 124 here for the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, Nikola Jokic, the highlight here on top. But let's not forget some of these other plays here for the Denver Nuggets. Now, Barton, you look at the last couple games, numbers been down a little bit, but he's not been shooting the ball well. So against this Houston defense, I'm really expecting that to pick up. He's played well against this team, averaging almost 35 DraftKings points a game. And as we already know, Houston, terrible on the defensive side of the ball. Most fantasy points allowed to the shooting guard position. Will Barton in a good spot here in the mid-range against this terrible Houston defense. All right, the mid-range plays continue at point guard with Patrick Beverley of Minnesota. So Cameron Payne likely going to be very popular once again tonight, even with kind of a ho-hum game for the Phoenix Suns. And it's not like I don't like Cameron Payne tonight. I think he's a solid play, especially in cash games. But in tournaments, if that ownership's going to be out of control again, I like moving over to Patrick Beverley here at the same price. What I like most about Beverley, he hits every single category. This guy's going to give you numbers all across the board. If he's scoring as well, that's when we really unlock the ceiling. And I think against this OKC team, that is certainly within the realm of possibilities. We also have no Anthony Edwards here tonight, so maybe he has to score a little bit more along with everything else that he does. OKC, bottom 10 in fantasy points allowed to the point guard position. Pat Beverley, solid value here at the point guard position. All right, the mid-range plays in the happy hour continues here, saving you money at power forward and center with Jalen Smith of the Pacers. Adding another Jalen to the mix here. 2 Jalens for us now, but Indiana, another team. A lot of injuries here, a lot of questionable tags. But let's focus on the ones that really impact Smith here. Miles Turner, we know, remains out. Goga Bitadze also questionable, so they're a little short on big men here. And Jalen Smith has really answered the bell here, playing well over the last few games, averaging over 30 DraftKings points per game here over the last 4. Not quite to Denver level, but Indiana, nice 117 on the team total here against Detroit. Close spread as well. We saw what happens with these close games, the potential for overtime, always something that we want to look to here. But Jalen Smith playing well, good matchup here. Prices are still fair. Love him tonight against the Detroit Pistons. All right, one more mid-range play for you at small forward, power forward, Jae Crowder of Phoenix. So as you can see, kind of the theme of the show today, glue guys. Guys that you can stick in your lineup and feel pretty good about it. Guys that are going to contribute across a ton of different statistical categories. And that's what we get here with Jae Crowder as well. We know Devin Booker, Chris Paul going to miss this game here. Like Pat Beverley, Jae Crowder going to do a ton and contribute across the board. Recent form has been good here as well, averaging almost 33 DraftKings points a game over the last 4. I think we start to see a little bit more aggressive offensive outlook here for Jae Crowder. Going to have to score a little bit more here for this Phoenix team. I think we see that here tonight. Jae Crowder, solid value here in the mid-range. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, we want to continue our Beast of the Night contest. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video and and guess fantasy points for my favorite play of the night on FanDuel. The closest guess is going to win themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. Chance to check everything out behind the scenes. Let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play for Friday night. You know I'm asked. Beast of the night. All right, this time we've saved you a lot of money at the other spots. Who is the stud you want to spend up on tonight? For me, it's center KarlAnthony Towns of the T-Wolves, tonight's Beast of the Night. So when we go back to Court IQ, again, an invaluable tool here for your NBA research. We take Anthony Edwards off the floor. KarlAnthony Towns, big 5.4% usage bump without Edwards, and it makes sense. You take one of the primary scorers off that team, Cat has to do that much more on the offensive end of the floor, and he's certainly been doing that of late. 11 games over his last 17. This guy's gone for 45 or more DraftKings points. We know 50, 55, upwards of 60 to 70 fantasy points is not out of the realm of possibilities here. And in this matchup, I think we could see that ceiling. OKC really struggling against centers here. Fourth most fantasy points allowed. They don't have anybody that's going to be able to contain KarlAnthony Towns, making him easily my favorite play on the board and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that wraps up Friday night here in the Fantasy Bar. As always, any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget fantasy points for KarlAnthony Towns on FanDuel for your shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. And who is your Beast of the Night? Let me know below in the comment section. Don't forget, thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and go and check out scoresandodds.com/beer. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salute, guys. Best of luck in the NBA tonight. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.